and welcome to the second installment of our video series. My name is Samantha Speed and I'm the Nanny Relations Coordinator with Chicago Collegiate Nannies. Have you ever found yourself struggling with a conflict in your nanny position, or maybe you're just needing some hints on how to deal with this difficult issue? This week we're super excited to bring you another helpful video related to something we've all dealt with at some point in time, that is conflict resolution. Though it might not be our favorite topic of conversation, conflict is pretty much inevitable. Whether it's at the beginning of your position as a nanny, when you're discussing compensation or benefits, maybe even throughout your placement when you're having to deal with schedule changes, or even towards the end of your position when you find that the children don't need a nanny anymore. I've found that conflict resolution, when done effectively, can help you exercise some really important skills, including assertive communication, clear expectations, and compromise. So with that in mind, let's get started on a few helpful tips and tricks that you can use whenever conflict arises. Point number one is stick to the facts. If you know there's a conflict about to arise, it's important to keep this point in mind. Doing this helps you to avoid emotional reactivity, frustration, and maybe even further conflict. I've worked with lots of nannies in the past who have experienced conflict in past positions, and it often did lead to increased conflict, and in some cases it led to termination of their positions. That's why it's important to stick to the facts, because you can avoid a lot of these issues throughout the conflict. Point number two is utilize the sandwich effect. This is my favorite tip I like to give to anybody that's looking to have a difficult conversation or to work with a conflict. The way that it works is you start out with a positive statement, follow it up with the difficult topic you need to address or the conflict, and wrap it up with another positive statement. An example of it would look something like this. Johnny is doing so well with not hitting his sister, positive. But I've noticed that he's really been struggling with calling his sister mean names, conflict. I'm trying to think of ways that we can work together to help address this issue, because I've noticed that he's done super well with not hitting his sister anymore, positive. Giving this a try has been so helpful for me personally and for a lot of other nannies that I've worked with. Point number three is separate the person from the problem. Oftentimes whenever we have problems, we tend to personalize them, and it can make the matters a lot worse. And as a nanny, when a conflict arises, we often find that whether it's the employer or the children, that we can let our emotions take over, and it can lead to that increased conflict we're talking about. So if you take a moment to compartmentalize the issue, it helps so that you don't place blame on everybody else, and also to separate the problem a little bit easier. Point number four is practice I statements. Using I statements is a really helpful communication tool that helps you to work through issues and express yourself a little bit more effectively. And it basically just starts by saying I. Starting your sentences with I might look like I'm feeling frustrated because, or I'm struggling to work through this issue due to this, or even I feel sad when you call me a rude name. Using I statements overall just helps with taking ownership of your feelings rather than putting your feelings onto someone else. We hope you found these couple tips and tricks useful when dealing with conflict resolution, and that you give a few of them a try. Thanks so much for tuning in to our recent video. Please be sure to share this with any friends or coworkers or anybody else that might find this interesting. And also don't forget to check out our website, as we have a lot more updates, including Nanny Tip of the Week, Nanny of the Month recognitions, and a couple other updates. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.